Hey everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Laura Narbonis and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now on my episode this week, I am not showing you a card. In fact, I'm showing you a very fun trio of gift boxes, and I hope you're excited to create them with me. If you are interested, I have put all the measurements for the project in the description on the video. I will also go over them as we're crafting, but please don't feel as if you have to copy my project exactly. If you don't own the Birthday Celebrations Designer Series paper, which you probably will want to after this, you may decide to sub in something else and maybe use up some DSP on your shelves. So join me, let's get crafting. So these boxes, I was inspired by a trio that I had made years ago for a Christmas event, and I saw them sitting on my shelf. So there's another version. This is not current designer paper or ribbon by any means, but this is what I saw, and I was like, you know what? I need to get back to my roots and recreate these boxes here. The paper that I decided to go with is in our January to April mini catalog, and it's found on page 43. I'm using the Wildflower Birthday Designer Series paper. You can use any of the sheets, really. The tag, if you can see here, this sheet that's hiding up in the top left, actually comes from that piece of designer series paper. It's not something I had to die cut. It's not something I had to even stamp, really. It was simply cut from this piece of designer paper, and then I added a little bit of a sentiment and a greeting on the back. So I'll show that to you in a minute, but we're using the Wildflower DSP. You're using the gold open weave trim, and then we're also using Pool Party cardstock if you want to copy everything exactly. Okay, you will need your Stampin' Up trimmer and a scoreboard because there is a lot of cutting to get all of these layers. So I'm going to build this from the largest box up to the smallest, and we will assemble them one at a time. I'm guessing you will quickly understand how these work once we get going. So we're going to start with our biggest piece of cardstock, and that is, of course, Pool Party. I have cut this at 8 inches by 8 inches, and then you need to do a score mark. 1, rotate 90 degrees, 2, rotate, 3, rotate, 4. That's how we're making the base of the box, okay? To make its matching lid, and then I'll show you how to assemble that, we're cutting a piece of designer series paper that is 6 inches by 6 inches. And in the same manner, instead of 2 inches, we're going to go at 1 inch all the way around. So do 1 and rotate, 1 rotate, 1 and rotate, 1 and rotate. Okay, this is your largest box, so put that to the side. Your medium box is going to be 7 inches by 7 inches, and we're scoring 2 inches all the way around. 2, 2, 2, and 2. For the lid, we've got that at 5 by 5, and I've done my score mark at 1 inch. So basically, all of your Pool Party pieces, we're cutting to 9 by 9, or sorry, whatever the first one was, 8 by 8. This one's 7 by 7. The next one will be 6 by 6, if you'd like to know. Okay, 6 by 6. And we're scoring all of the Pool Parties at 2 inches all the way around. Then when you get to the designer series paper, we have cut these at 6, 5, and 4-inch squares, and you're scoring at 1 inch all the way around. Sorry if that was confusing. Let's refresh. We have 3 different cardstock squares. 8 by 8, 7 by 7, 6 by 6. Scored at 2 inches on all 4 sides. Designer series paper, we are scoring at 1 inch on all the sides, and they are measuring at 6 by 6, 5 by 5, 4 by 4. Once you have all that, we need some snips, some scissors, because we have some cutting to do. All right, so because this is a perfect square, you can choose where you want to start, but what you're doing to one side of your project, you will repeat on the other, okay? So I'm going to show you, I think, on a cardstock because it's easier for you to see. You can see my lines here. So I'm going to cut up one of those lines till I reach the point where it's connected to the other part. I'm going to do the same for the opposite side. So this is all disconnected at the moment. Now I need to cut a little triangle. This is so that when I fold those pieces over, they don't bump into each other. Okay, so one little triangle here, one little angle triangle here, just to make myself a little piece to tuck underneath. And we're doing the same thing on this side. 1 and 2. So basically this project is simply a lot of repeating yourself. We're just going to go all the way around, now to the other side, and do the same thing. You need your 2 sides to be equal. There we go. I'm going to save all of my bone folder work for the end, simply because it's easier to get all the cutting done, get that off my work table, and then come back and do that. So let's do the next one. Same idea. This is just a bit different size of a piece of paper. Fold in, fold out. Same for the opposite. I know some videos might fast forward through all of this, but I'm not fancy. I don't edit. You get me in real life. And you're going to have to do this anyways. So it's going to take the same amount of time if we do it together. Maybe if I made a reel out of this, I'd have to speed it up. Okay, there's the second. And last but not least, again, because these are squares, it doesn't matter which one you start with. You just have to continue on, finish it, and then do the opposite section. Four. Right, so there's your 3 pieces. Pool party, all ready to go. And if you haven't guessed it, we have to do the same thing to our designer papers. Don't cut up as much. Remember, it's only a little tiny 1-inch section. Don't feel like you have a lot of room to work, because you don't. It is tricky to find the score lines sometimes. There we go. 2. Okay, there's one piece, the largest one. Do the medium one. And if you're doing 3 of these, you're going to get very good because you're doing the same thing every time. So it's going to be so easy to do this next time. All right, last but not least, I'm going to turn that so I can see these lines. Way around and doing this last section. Perfect. Okay, we are done cutting these parts. You have one more job to cut, and that is to grab that designer series paper that I chatted about if you have it. And in that sheet, you can find this little tag here. We're just going to trim those corners because of course it doesn't come trimmed as a nice tag. And then we can put our scissors to the side and work on this tag a little bit more later. I'm going to move this guy off. Now we get to grab our bone folder and do a ton of folding. Okay, so basically all of these fold lines, we need to work on bringing those in towards the center of your box. If you prefer, you could flip one of these lids around and maybe you've got a pink one in the mix too, but that's completely up to you. I'm just going to do this on my own for now. All the same direction. So in towards the center of your workspace. There's 2. There's 3. Oh, same thing for your box bases, all in towards the center. And keep going, you're almost done. Just got 2 more to go. Then we have to assemble them all. Don't worry, it's going to be so worth it. Whoever gets this will be very, very excited. You're going to love all the work you've put into it. Two and 3. Okay, now we need to put some adhesives on. So I'm turning this over. So I've got kind of the bold side that would all match up together. You know, it would make my box like this nicely. I need to turn this over and put some adhesive on these 4 funny flaps that we had made originally. So if you'd like, you can grab glue to do that with. I'm just going to do some double-sided tape and quickly and simply set these up. So just a little tape on the top and the bottom of that flap. Doesn't even have to be perfectly positioned, just as long as it will keep your box closed. Okay, so there's one. We're going to do the same thing to all of them because there's no point losing our stride. We'll just do all of the boxes at once. If you're using glue though, I guess you will have to pause and assemble. Can't really leave this off. There we go. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. a second one. Working on this back side again. When we get to the designer paper, we'll need much smaller little pieces. So we're working with a 1-inch square. There's all our pool party. And these guys here. All right, teeny tiny, so just one little strip. It's going to be good enough. We'll need 12 of those. 3 and 4. All right. I just put this straight up the middle of that strip. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good enough for me. Next. 1, 2, 3, 4, and last but not least, we've got our little baby box. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we are ready to start assembling now. So again, I think I will start showing you on a cardstock piece because it's easiest to see. So we're going to take off your tape. You can take it off on all 4 sides if you're feeling brave. If you'd rather just do 2 at a time, that is okay too. Whatever you prefer is just fine. If you're using glue, I would suggest doing only 2 sides at a time. Okay, so these little pieces are going to tuck in behind that full square. If you have anything that's sticking out, then go ahead and trim it off, because especially with this tiny box, we might have an issue with space. The other ones should be fine. Okay, 1 and 2. These 2 connect. And there you go. Okay, there's one little box. Next. Two, 3, and 4. Up to you what you put in these boxes. I thought maybe some little treats. You could probably put some tea, like a loose tea packet or so in here. I'm a tea person. Maybe you have somebody who likes coffee, and you could, I also thought, build like a hot chocolate or a s'mores box. So marshmallows, graham crackers, chocolates. And then hot chocolate, of course, would be hot chocolate, marshmallows, and maybe some candy cane, little chunks in baggies. Or you can just put gifts all separated in here. It's just a fun little way to present something different to your friend. Tucking these 2 in. You just tuck them in loosely to start, then you can seal everything off once you're happy. All right, there's the 3 bases. We need 3 lids. There we go. Need my take your pick tool. Tuck that under. Love it. See, they're so fun. So tiny. Stick it on top if you're feeling brave now, but of course you can fill them first. It's up to you. You might have to flip around and just find the section that has the most room, because I didn't really want to go on that first way, but they are a perfect square, so they should go on eventually. Funny thing is, if I make one of these for my grandma, she always insists if I make her a treat, like a 3D item, that I keep her gift out of it so she never actually has to open the present and wreck what I've nicely tied the bow or the tag onto. And then she just keeps the wrapped item on her shelf and eats her little treats separately. So I've learned for her, that's who I probably will give my first one here to just leave it wrapped and give her some little candies on the side, because she would rather have the craft that I've finished for her. All right, last but not least, lid number 3. So you can see, if you were making a few of these, you'd probably get the hang of them. It'd be pretty easy to replicate this. We've done the same steps, just in 3 different sizes for all 3 of these. Now I'm going to do this loosely because, of course, I would like to still fill this at some point, but I'm going to grab my gold trim. I'm going to rest it underneath the trio of boxes that I've stacked. I didn't worry about gluing them together or anything. I'm simply coming over and grabbing some thread and tying a knot on the top of my box stack. So make sure they're straight, or if you want purposely off-centered, just do a knot in the top here. That will hold them all in place. And then we can come back and add a tag in just a second. See, that holds it nice and straight. So, on to tag topics. I mentioned earlier we grabbed that little tag from our designer series paper, but I wanted to elevate it just a little bit. So I'm going to grab my blueberry bushel ink and my birthday celebration stamp set, and I'm grabbing the 2, and I think that was a 2 and, is there a to and from? Maybe that's on a different set. To you, I could add on this one, and then I'm going to just say for you on the very front. I have that mounted, ready to go. For you, just down here at the bottom. And on my to and from sentiments, I promise I will look up what set that was from, because it's not this one. I'm putting this guy up on a dimensional onto the back of my tag, because I can, and it's great. And then we need, finally, a way for our tag to attach to that beautiful gold thread. So how on earth can we do that? Well, let me tell you about a trio of adorable new tags that is available in our online exclusive site. So if you go to my website listed at the bottom there, just type in online exclusives in the search bar, or you can type in trio and it will come up with these little punches. But these punches are great for adding a little tag topper to whatever you're working on. So I like this one because it's got the fun little bumps, but of course there's a straight across, there's a circle that would be great for twine or linen thread, and all 3 of these punches come in one set together. Just a reminder, if you're in Canada and you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to invite you to shop on my site. And of course, then you would get put on my catalog mailing list as well. We have new catalogs coming out for May 6th is the next annual catalog. And also, if you're in Canada and you've ordered from me in the past, don't worry, you have a catalog coming your way. We go, just a little gold. I'm going to save the trimming of all of my gold till I have filled my boxes, because of course I don't want that to to get wrecked. So I've left these long so I can retie this really easily. But there you go. There is your stack of boxes with your cute little tag ready for you to create and fill and give out to somebody for a little gift. So thanks for joining me. Please click the like button on this video and subscribe to my channel. I will see you next Tuesday for another edition of Show Me How It's Done. Bye!